I can confirm that Lia Thomas has not gone through any sexual reassignment surgery and still likes girls.
I used to go recently to LA Fitness, but in the women's locker room, they would have a sign sometimes, and it would say men working in here, you know, to give you a heads up. I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable changing in front of men who would be, or biological men, right, who would be attracted to me. I'm changing. They could literally get a boner, be turned on by me, right? That
Right.
is not okay for women.
You know, the locker room at these big meets with all the elite athletes, it's so fun. It's a place where you get to connect with girls you haven't seen in a really long time, and you're able to just be vulnerable, especially being swimmers. You're totally used to being half naked all the time as it is. And so I can't say it's a modest place. You know, girls are just walking around totally naked because you feel comfortable doing that. And so we're in the locker room changing, super chattery, everyone's loud, and all of a sudden it gets silent. And I see someone who is towering over everyone else in the room. And I realize, you know, like, oh my gosh, we have to share a changing space with, you know, and a biological guy. And so how uncomfortable and how wrong to be placed in a situation as a female where you're forced to undress in front of a guy completely naked and be exposed to male genitalia. And in a sport like swimming, you have to change multiple times, and putting on those knee skins is what they're called. It takes like 15 minutes because they're skin tight. So you're completely naked for long periods of time.
It's jarring. And I'm trying to see both sides here. And I'm like, listen, if
Right.
somebody is a trans person and they're lost in the sauce of like, where do I fit in? And that struggle and not feeling accepted, like, again, we can separate and the two things can be true. Like, I can acknowledge and have empathy for that experience, right?
Exactly.
On the other end of it, let's be real. Like, I don't even, again, was in Playboy, loved every minute of it, right? But in real life, like, I don't even feel comfortable, Riley, changing like in a women's store fitting room. I have to make sure the little curtains are drawn, right? What I see, to who experiences this, right? Like, that is up to me. And that's where I think, to your point, what you experience is a form of misogyny, because it's like, we're not going to warn you. We're not going to, you know, respect the space of a woman that you guys have fought for. And on top of it, you kind of have to just like deal with it too bad.
Right. The Ivy League actually sent out an email to their swimmers that said, you know, if you feel comfortable seeing male genitalia in your locker room, here are some resources for you. Mm-hmm. This is what's going to happen if that's for some reason, some weird reason makes you uncomfortable. Here's someone you can talk to. Even a year ago, that would have been sexual harassment. And now we're praising it. After this, we're nominating this person for Woman of the Year, NCAA Woman of the Year. It's insane. It is not progressive. It is the total opposite.
Instead of acceptance, moving forward in a way that makes sense, forcing it like this and doing things that are either counterintuitive or violating to women or going backwards or don't make sense, makes people resented. It's like, it's exactly the opposite outcome of what, in theory, we should want.